Okay guys, in this video I'm going to try to show from beginning to end how I create a depth map from a 2D image from start to finish. Yep. So here I have a picture that's a watercolor made by Winslow Armour, and it's called the Adirondack Guide. So here it is. So that's my first layer, and I call that layer content_image.png. So that I give it that name so that I know what name to give when I'm ready to save the layer, which is going to be needed by the 3dconverter2. So the first thing you need to do is create a edge image. So let's create a new layer, and we're gonna call it edge underscore RGBA image.png. So make sure that you select your you got that one selected, because we're gonna work on that layer using the pencil tool. There it is. The size, you reduce the size to the minimum by using the left bracket key, or you can change the size directly here. So you go down to 1, and then you're going to trace on the content image wherever there is a change in depth, a discontinuity in depth. So that's a bit tedious, but it's really easy to do. So let's start doing that. Let me zoom in a bit, and let me start with let me start with the back of the boat here. So here, for instance, the back of the boat, and on the other side here, the water, there's a depth discontinuity. It means that there should be something here along that border here. So let's start here. So yeah, we're ready. We're on the okay. So I use the shift key to create only straight segments, straight line segments when I draw with the pencil tool. So shift, and you just, and the color is going to be red. So you just do this, and you just, whenever there is a change of depth, you just draw over it. Doesn't have to be super precise, but yeah. So yeah, around here. I think I could have gone over that thing, or let me zoom in more, because it's hard to see. Okay. If you make a mistake, Control Z. So yeah, I'm just gonna go back because I can see I think it's here. Then I'm gonna go this way, and then I'm gonna go along the paddle. So it's not super precise, this painting, but let's try to go and follow the paddle. Well, you can even see the underdrawing. So you just follow the underdrawing that it did in black. So I just follow that. So here the paddle is at one depth, and what's behind is another depth. So you need to have the edge image go through here. So here I'm just gonna go like this. Very boring, and here I'm turning, so now I'm going the other side. So you keep doing that. I'm trying to follow his other drawing, kinda. So here, okay, coming back on him. So here, and I'm gonna stop about here. Okay, let's continue. Here, there's a depth discontinuity here, so I have to deal with this one. I have to about here. Boom, path, piece, off. Let's see how it looks like. You have to make sure it connects. Let me zoom in. Yeah. So yeah, this is how it looks like. So when you zoom in, it's going to look like a staircase effect. That's perfect. That's okay. That's what you want. Either like that, or with like a diagonal pixel. So that's totally fine. What's going to happen is that the depth here will not go through here or there, even when you have that just on the diagonal. So that's totally fine. Okay, so now let's go back to the rest. So yeah, I have another one here. So here there's depth discontinuity as well here. So you have to keep going here. About here. Okay, then the back of the boat, depth discontinuity between this and that. So here you need something. So you have to about here. Up. So let's do the whole thing here. I think if I go up to here, it should be okay. Then, I mean, here there's also depth discontinuity happening. So, yeah, you have to do that one too. It sucks. Okay, so you continue here. So you have to follow here. And you follow, we're gonna go under the paddle here also. Go here, and there's a discontinuity as well. Here. Yeah. Around there. Then the paddle on the right side, same thing, depth discontinuity. The O, it's not, hold on, the boat here, this has to be done also. Here. So I'm gonna go over here, and for the O, same thing. Fucked up. Hold on. It's a bit of pain in the butt. So here, it's hard to tell what's going on. I think I have to go here. It's not super well defined. Let's put it that way. So here I can go this way. And here the paddle goes into the water, so can pretty much stop around here. So we're gonna stop here. Because here there's a depth discontinuity between the paddle and the water, but then since the paddle is in the water, they are the same depth, so the depths here are continuous. Then you have to do the top, same idea. Okay, so start from here. So jump here. So you go like this, boom. Yeah. That paddle is not very straight. Yeah. And the same idea. As soon as it enters the water, oh, yeah, you can stop. Yeah, so you keep doing that. You keep doing that tedious process until everything is done. So let's go back to where we can see something. So basically you have to do it like here, here, along the guy. Whenever there is a change of depth. So for the back here, it's hard to see, but I think like this branch here is in front of whatever is here, like the bush thing. So that should be drawn as well. That should be drawn as well, the boundary. Same thing here, you should draw around here. So this guy can be in front of the tree. That thing here, the branches, the low branches, yeah, you should really do it as well. So you should, hold on. Yeah, you should, like here, you should draw here. Same thing here, you should draw around here, you should draw here. Whenever there's a change of depth. So yeah, it's gonna be a pain in the butt here. Do this, do that one, do that one, do that one, do that one. Here it's not too bad because the branches are pretty thick, but if it was thin branches, you'd be in a lot of trouble. So yeah, you have to draw around here. So you keep drawing until you're done, and I think that's what I'm gonna do now. And I'll see you later when I think I have done everything. So see you around. So I'm back. Yeah, I tried to do as much as I could, but there's some parts that are not very clear, like the leg, the left leg of this guy. I don't know, I think Homer didn't paint it, because I don't know, I cannot figure it out. Also the left arm, I don't know where it ends, so I'm not completely sure. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. This is missing, and here I'm not sure what this thing is, the reddish thing. I mean, the end should end in this plane, so I don't know. There are some things I don't really know if there's a depth discontinuity or not. So like here, I don't know what this is, but red thing, maybe it's a piece of ancient boat or something, I'm not sure. So I put lines there, but I don't know if they're supposed to be there. Anyway, so I think it's good enough. I mean, you can always fix it later if you want to, but now it's time to go to the next stage, which is to draw the sparse depth map. So we're going to do that next. So let's continue where we left off. So the next thing we need to do is to create that sparse depth map. So for that, create a new layer. We're going to call it sparse depth map underscore RGBA image.png. That's correct. And then, so we need to see where we can put a gradient to establish our depth. Clearly, for the water, you can put a linear gradient here. From here to here, this area, up this area, perfect for a gradient here. So you can do that in a scene where there is a ground, there is a wall. Here the water looks like the ground, so we can draw a selection for the water using that tool. Yes. So we're gonna go, you don't have to be too precise here. I think I'm gonna go yeah, I'm gonna go across here. I don't think it matters that much. How about here? Doesn't have to be too precise. Okay, so that's my selection. And for the gradient tool, so the question is, what depth should we be at here in that area? So yeah, the closest stuff is at pure white 255, and the furthest stuff is at pure black, which is 0. So here I'm thinking the value here maybe 80. Yeah, maybe 80. And here 255 pure white. So this is the, let's change that one to 280. Let's put 80. I haven't used that in a while. I think it's this way. Just so that it's neat. So I'll put 80. Okay, so this is 80. Okay. So now let's draw the gradient. So it's going to be from 80. This is 80. That looks pretty white to me. No. Oh, this is a percentage. Oh, I see. Yeah, wrong. 80. 80, you need to put 80 RGB value from 0 to 255. I don't know, they must have changed something. The Gimp people, to confuse us. So now it's 80. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, so the gradient. So this is pure white 255. This is grayscale value 80. 80 being between 0 and 255, not a percentage. So you just have to do this, and it's good. Okay. I don't know why I need that. Okay, fine. Select and select. Now we still need to recover the. So we need to erase to recover the guy and the boat and the paddles. So what I can do is reduce the opacity, and then we should be able to erase. See what we are doing. So use the eraser tool. The eraser tool, which is here, and let me reset it. So that's the eraser tool, default. Make sure you use hard edge, and now you can start deleting. So I'm deleting, trying to be a little bit careful, but you know, that should be fine. I'm just gonna go with this. Up. So let's delete the boat. So that's about, you just follow the contour of the boat, and then and then the paddle for that. So the paddle, you go, let's see, where am I? Hold on. Just increase the zoom to 100 so I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, here you don't need to go all the way because this is already at the right. So it should be fine. Actually, it's going to propagate here. That. So now you should be able to go back to 100%. And just finish the job. Let's make sure. Yeah, that's correct. So then you just erase the rest. There, I think this should be good. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so now it's time to do the Gimp paths. Okay, that's when you have to start putting on your thinking cap here, because it's not that simple. So I'm gonna start with that paddle. I think it's 1 depth for this guy, and I'm gonna use the depth that's here. So let's zoom in a bit. Okay, so I'm gonna do that paddle here. Actually, I don't really need to do it because it's gonna propagate anyway, but I'm just gonna do the path anyway. So you use the path tool, which is here. Here, I don't know what's the default. Oh, okay. Use polygonal. And yeah, I don't remember what to do it. Let's see if I remember. So you start, I'm gonna start here. and I'm just gonna go all the way here. So now I need to see the paths. Where are they? I don't remember. Oh, it's here. Okay, so the name, okay, so we can see it here. The name of the path is going to be the depth, so it's going to be this depth. So let's look at what that depth is here. If I can find the tool, yeah, that one. So yeah, 120, 122. Yeah, just use that. Let's use that 122 for the name. So you just rename 122. So that's 122 for that right paddle. Now let's do the other one. Let's do the boat. So let's put a path here. So let's do another path about here. That one with this depth. So the picker gonna be about here, 211. It's 211. It's kind of straight. I think it's gonna be the same here, but let's do another path for that side. So it's another path. And the depth is here. You could probably put a gradient as well. 205. Let's do one here. So path. Let's do here to here. This one. The depth is about here, 185. Okay. Now, I think what I'm gonna do next is this thing here. It's slightly in front of the paddle. That one. That's 122. So I'm gonna put this guy probably at 125. So let's do the path. So I'm just gonna go following this path here. Oh yeah, okay. I'm just gonna follow here all the way to the hat. So yeah, around here, and I think I might even go, because here I separated. Yeah, so here I have to split the path. I have to, I think it's shift. Yeah, so here you start a new subpath, so I'm going to put something here at the top of the hat. Yeah, so yeah. So that one is gonna be maybe, I don't know, 125 maybe. It's slightly in front of that one. So you can see it here. So here the path is actually 2 subpaths. Alright, let's continue with our paths. The next one I'm going to do is this area that looks to be at the same depth, even the left arm. So I'm going to do the whole thing here. Left arm, elbow, and going down around here. To me, this looks to be the same depth as this one, which I think is the 185. I think it's the 185, yeah. So I'm going to put it at the same depth. So I'm going to say, I'm going to write 185, and Gimp automatically is going to add a number after, which is fine. So he's putting a #1. So that's fine, you leave it like that. So that's 185. Okay, now let's do the left paddle. So I'm going to put a little path here to indicate that depth. So I'm just going to do something like this, little path. And this one, oh man, it's behind the 180, so maybe at 160. I'm not sure about that. 160. I think that might be. No, let's do 175. 175. And that paddle, this end is probably more in the background, so I'm gonna put well, let's do the path. Oh man, so yeah, that's the end of the paddle. And this one, so this is 175. This one I'm going to put it at maybe see 160 maybe. Put at 160. So at this point it may be a good idea to run the 3dconverter2 and see what you have, because it's very easy to make mistakes, and you want to catch them as early as possible. So here I already done it, but what I did is that so this is the content. So this is I export as content underscore image.png. Then the next one, the edge. This one I export as edge underscore RGBA image.png. And then that one I export as sparse underscore depth map underscore RGBA image.png. If you get an error when you run the 3dconverter2 about semi-transparent pixels, what you do is to go into layer, transparency, threshold alpha, and just press OK. That's only for the sparse depth map that you have to do that, because when you do a gradient tool, it always puts anti-aliasing, so you have to remove the anti-aliasing, otherwise the 3dconverter2 is going to complain. So you do that, and then I did that, and then I ran the 3dconverter2, and then you go on the web, you go to devplayer.hugocapital.com, reference image, the content image. Of course, you run the 3dconverter2 first. So that's the result here, the dense depth map image.png. And you click on point cloud, create model. If the your images are very big, you may want to use some downsampling, more than 2, like 3 or 4, so that it's faster to load. So that's the 3D scene. So what you do is that you check to make sure it's kind of look correct. In our case, of course not everything is done, but you really want to focus on the boat and the guy in the boat. So what I've noticed is that there's too much depth here between when there's something wrong. I think the depth of that right paddle and left paddle is probably okay. It's just that the guy is completely wrong. So you're gonna have to you know, adjust the depths of the Gimp paths or add more Gimp paths or whatever, but you're gonna need to do something about that. So what I would do is that I would fix first the boat and the guy on the boat, and then I would focus on the background, but that's easy enough. Yeah, so based on what I saw in on the 3D scene, I kind of changed a few things. So as you recall, the paddle, I think it's the 122, that's the paddle of the 122. Before I had a path that went along the right arm all the way up. That's no good. I changed that. So I created that path, this path, so the right side of his back. I create that path and I put a value of this one, 165, so it's way more in the foreground. And for the arm, I just basically elongated the arm by created that path here. So basically the arm is going to be between the values here, the 165, and that value that I gave here, which is, I think, I don't remember which one it is. Oh, the 130. So I put 130. So the arm goes from 165. Yeah, from 165 to 130, which I think is too much. Still too much. So I think the 130 should be probably 145, and that right paddle should probably be more in the foreground as well. But let's run the 3dconverter2 on this one and see what we get. And I did that. So this is the new 3D scene. Let's look at it. So now let's look. So okay, so now the guy is probably more correct, but now you have a very stretched arm, very stretched right arm. And so I think it's not an easy one here. I think I have to bring this guy more in, although it looks okay. I got to think about that one. The problem is this length here, it's too long. From the shoulder, to the right paddle, it's too long. So something is going to have to be done. In any case, you need to basically work on those Gimp paths, save the Gimp paths, run the 3dconverter2, and then load the 3D scene, see where it's wrong, and then fix it. I mean, there's no other way, really. So yeah, it's a bit of a pain, but let's keep on going. Well, after quite a bit of fiddling around, I think this is my final version. So here are the paths. I put a few more. Yeah, so I spent probably another hour fiddling around. So, and those are the layers. I mean, not that much changes, but you know, you got to spend the time to do it right. So here what it looks like as a 3D scene. So of course the boat, I mean, it's not easy to do. Really not easy to do the boat. I think I got the guy pretty much okay. That paddle is probably too far back. I should have put it more towards his hand. I did some work in the background a little bit, I mean, who cares? So yeah, that's it for me. I mean, after a while it just gets tiring and you don't want to do it. You don't want to do it anymore. So that's it. That's my final version. I think it looks okay. Alright, see you around for another video. I hope soon. Bye bye.